Hello everybody, this is Kiereek here, and today we're talking about Skyrim. Now this is Skyrim with all the DLC because it's the special edition that was recently released. I've had the pleasure to get that for free because I owned the Legendary Edition from before. So if you own the Legendary Edition, check it out on PC, you'll get it for free. Now what is Skyrim? If you've been living under a rock, it's an RPG set in Tamriel, kind of an adventure RPG, fantasy land. There's magic, there's melee, there's archery, there's dragons, mystical creatures, plenty of different little cities and stuff like that. Like it's in a whole environment, a whole universe created for these games. Elder Scrolls games are usually pretty robust in the lore side of things. Now it's open world. Like I said, there's plenty of different cities, stuff you can travel to, and there's lots of space between them. In that space, you'll find things like caves, shrines, little houses, events that lead to other quests and interesting things. Now, there's plenty of main quests as well. You have the main quest of the Dragonborn, which is you. You have the Civil War quest, and you've got things like the Thieves Guild, the Companions, the College of the Winterhold, the Mages College, things like that. You also got plenty of smaller quests, ones that get their own quest line and in the journal, and ones that are kind of randomly generated. You come across something and it's like, okay, we'll kill this bandit for a bounty. That's randomly generated because it can happen over and over. It's not a single time. Now, the pros for this game, it's a huge world. There's lots to do in it. You'll be fighting, but you'll be trading, you'll explore, you'll craft, you'll build, you'll read things. All the settings are kind of different. Nothing is too different. Like it all fits, it makes sense. It's all Skyrim, the province of Skyrim. But it's all a little different as well. Like you go to the Rift, it's marshy and gross. If you go to Markarth, it's going to be rocky and hilly. You go to Solitude and it's really fancy and kind of on the cliff by the ocean. I like it. Everything's got their own kind of different feel. I felt like the character design was pretty great. A lot of the characters do share the same voices, but that's just a reality of voice acting with such a small group. But they all have their kind of unique look to them. Every race is different. And when you're making your character, you get so many choices, especially if you mod it out. You get so many choices that you can make pretty much anyone you're thinking of, even real world people. Now, there's a large modding community, like I was mentioning there. A lot of mods out there. They're going to change things like the weather, the skies, the textures, adding armor, adding weapons, adding unique quests. Like everything you can think of, it's out there. You do have to watch out for compatibility. I might make a video in the future on that, about how to clean your files and how to sort them properly and all that junk. But basically, it's not too hard to get a hold of, and once you do, you really expand the game. Now, there's already so much to do in the base game. It's not too much of an issue if you just want to play vanilla. Like I said, there are Radiant quests that will keep generating, and I would say base game, if you just run through the main story, you will go through it fast. Maybe like 6 hours, 10 hours. Enemies do scale to your level to a point, so you should be able to do it at pretty much any level. But even beyond that, I'd say if you do every other quest to completion, you're looking at least 30, 40 hours. It's pretty intense. Now, it's super addicting as well. I found myself, with this game, it's easy just to do one thing, go to the other thing, and keep doing it over and over and over. It's one of those stay up all nights, forget to eat kind of games. And this is not a bad thing, but I mean, you are going to have a hard time peeling away from it, unless you're like me, you've played a lot of the hours. Especially when you get new mods. I found myself with character creation and mods, just modding the game, creating characters. I played for like 2 hours or 3 hours of that character, get bored of that one and start a new character, but that still was super addicting. I was still playing the game. Now, it's especially appealing to noobs and fans alike. If you're a noob to the series, don't worry about it. It's super friendly, even to people who aren't really into video gaming. The combat is not that rigorous, and it's basically just swing and pummel. If you're a fan of the game, I think there's enough there to keep you, fan of the series I should say, there's enough there to keep you occupied. You might be a little sad at how simplistic it is, especially if you're coming from other earlier, more heavily RPG games. This one's a little less RPG. You can build your character really in anything. It's not like Oblivion where you pick the class and by leveling up certain stats, you're basically stuck with those. Even in this one, I think you can respec, if I remember correctly now. It's been a while since I got to that point in the game, but you can respec to be a mage if you've already put your points into something else, right? You get a perk point every level, and you put them in your skill tree in an effort to make your character more powerful. There's plenty of skill trees. They range from things like lockpicking, one-handed skill, destruction magic, conjuration magic, heavy armor, things like that, archery. Some of them are combat related, some of them aren't, and it's worth kind of spreading them across different trees. Not too much, but at least a couple. Now, the companion system, I found it much better than previous Bethesda games. So if you go back and you look at Oblivion, or you look at Fallout 3, or any of the new Bethesda games, none of the old things before they acquired the IP, but since they've been making them, I think it's really done a better job. Especially if you download something like a Fallout Tweaks mod, you get a lot of choices. I really appreciate that. Now for the cons, the difficulty is kind of artificial. Basically, as you scale, the level of your enemies scales as well, but all it really does to them is give them extremely strong attack and health. So I found myself sometimes getting one-shot by things like Draugr overlords. It's like, well, good thing I wasn't playing a melee character, because otherwise I would have been screwed. How am I supposed to fight that? I would have preferred, I don't know, difficulty adds more enemies, or it's still pretty artificial. It's hard to fix those kind of problems. Now, like I was saying before, you get a lot of customization with your build. You can basically spread it any way you want. And while that is nice, it means it doesn't really mean much. There's no commitment. When I start as an archer, there's nothing stopping me from going over and becoming a conjurer or illusionist. Other than the fact you have to invest the time. But really, it kind of flattens it, makes it a little more bland. Now, the vanilla items, I'd say they're a little lame. You got your regular weapons, swords, axes, but they never really come in anything too fancy. The most they do is put enchantments on them to make them a little nicer. I mean, of course, you do have like glass swords, let's just say glass weapons, ebony weapons, dwarven weapons, bone mold weapons, but it's not too many. When you think about it, I probably count them in both hands. It's unfortunate. I wish I'd done a little bit more to vary that up. Add some spears, for example. Now, there's a lot of fetch quests, and I think it's part of it being, I don't know, part of it being generated. So when you do those randomized quests, you're going to get a lot of bring me back this, kill this guy, clear out this area. But even a lot of the main quests, I mean, they can only fall into so many categories, right? Go here, do this. It's basically what it comes down to. Go here, kill this guy. Go here, steal this thing. Go here, find this item. There's only so much, and as a result, they can get a little repetitive. Some of the quests, they didn't feel they had a lot of justification. Why would I do some of these things for you guys? Like, I walk up to somebody and they're like, hey, I got this problem, and my guy's okay with, let's just go do it. Let's help him out. Well, screw that. Why would I put my life on the line? I would like to see more motivation in the quests. Sometimes it lacks a little bit of direction. I found this, especially with some people, they complain about they don't know what to do. Where do I go? And then they get bored and they quit. I think if there was more direction in the game, something to force you a little bit, at least in the beginning, away from the open world towards a linear path, just a little bit, and then let you have the open world after, I think that'd be better. Some of the textures were terrible at times. Like I said, you can mod this away, but that's a nitpicky thing. I don't like to see blurry mountains and blurry land. Some obvious features are missing as well. They did add in some things like horse combat, which is great, but I really would have liked them to have mass crafting. If I want to make 1,000 iron daggers, let me make 1,000 at once. Don't make me push the button for that 1,000 times. That brings us to our score. For gameplay, I find it pretty good. It's not perfect. You could be a lot more agile, a lot more in control of your character, but other than that, I think combat is alright. I think it's good. It plays well. The interactions with the world are fluid and intuitive. That's great with me. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 3. For the addiction, like I said, I find it highly addictive. It will tear you away from your family. It will ruin your life. It is a 2 out of 2. Reliability, I have to give it a 0.7 out of 1. You will experience bugs. Even without modding, you will experience bugs. And that's the unfortunate truth of the GameBro engine, the way Bethesda runs their stuff. But it's not too bad. You can deal with it and move on. Atmosphere, they've done a great job building the world. They've had several games to build it up over, so it's no surprise there. It's a 1.7 out of 2. You can really get lost into the world, role-playing, and things like that. Replay value, I feel it's pretty high, even though the quests are the same. Building new characters is a lot of fun, and even if you're doing the same thing over and over with them, I kind of have different personalities to everyone. So that's a 1.5 out of 2 for me. That means our total score is an 8.4 out of 10. I highly recommend picking it up or getting back into it if you already have it, the free copy you may have gotten. If you own it for Xbox One or PS4, you're shit out of luck. I'm pretty sure you gotta buy it. So thanks for watching, guys. Check out my gameplay portion as well. There's been plenty of other review and release videos out there, so watch them. I like it when I see those views tick up. In the meantime, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see y'all again soon.